There's a kitty down here. Then says it's time for cuddles, not for filming a video. Well guys, it's time for round 2 of Caitlin's medical mysteries journey. A friend of mine called a colonoscopy a butt hose, and I thought that was so funny and so like spot on that henceforth it shall be known as a butt hose. I guess without going into too much graphic detail, I have been dealing with like IBS, gastrointestinal symptoms, like increasingly bad ones for the last 3 years. And then I've had like acid reflux heartburn issues. I mean, I think they started when I was like 23, 24. Honestly, you don't realize like how connected your stomach, like your gut health, is to everything else in your body. And how like that affects so many other parts of you. So this is actually the testing that I'm probably the most excited for, if one can be excited for a colonoscopy and an endoscopy. I'm, I guess, as prepared as I can be. The 5 days leading up to the procedure, you are not supposed to eat seeds and nuts. There's some other things. Where are the other things? No corn, no quinoa. Don't take fiber supplements, that kind of thing. I like knew that was kind of going to be difficult for me because I probably rely on a lot of fruit. Leading up to this, since the summer, I've been on a low FODMAP diet, which is, FODMAP is like an acronym that stands for a lot of big words that I don't know off the top of my head, but I'll put them like right here for you. Essentially, it's an elimination diet where you take out or try to figure out triggers for like IBS symptoms. So it's things like broccoli and gluten and dairy, and surprisingly things like apples that might cause gastrointestinal distress. And so you like eliminate them and then you try adding them back, you know, like one at a time to see like, oh, okay, does this cause me issues? And if it doesn't, then maybe you can continue to eat it. So that's what I've been doing since the summer, which for me has mostly meant no dairy and then no gluten are probably the 2 big things that I've tried to cut out. And so it's difficult to do like the no seeds, no nuts, no corn, no quinoa, and no gluten, no dairy. Like a lot of the things that were suggested to eat in the days leading up to a colonoscopy were the things that I can't eat. So it's been trial and error. And a lot of coconut, dairy-free alternative yogurt. Well, so then today is the clear liquid diet day, which is essentially, I mean, it's just what it says it is, which is you can only have liquids, no purple or red liquids because those can kind of look like blood. Like I could have Jello and popsicles, Gatorade, sodas, clear soups like broth, fruit juices, all that kind of stuff. So I think I'll be fine. I've certainly had days where I've been really sick and all I've had is clear liquids. So I know I'll be fine. I can handle 1 day without eating. So if you're watching this video because you are going to have a colonoscopy or an upper endoscopy, then I will try to give you as much information as I can. Obviously, this is my first time. If you would like to see someone who it is not their first time, they've done it multiple times, I would highly recommend watching Hank Green of the Vlogbrothers. He has a how to get a colonoscopy video that I watched that actually made me feel a lot better. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for now. I take the medication at 6 p.m. tonight, so I will be back for that part. Ooh, hello. I just want to say that I was probably wrong when I said that not eating all day was like not a big deal. I hit like 1 o'clock and I was like, I could really use some food in my body right now. So I had chicken broth, and then I've had lots of ginger ale after that, because after I drank the chicken broth, because I was so hungry, then I was like, maybe that's a little too much like salt and chicken broth, and I got a little like vommy feeling. So yeah, now we're, it's now 6 p.m., which means it is time for the medicine. I'm saying this like I'm really excited to take the medicine, and I'm not. I'm just hoping that we're gonna switch into like the feeling sick
versus feeling hungry, because it could honestly be like another 24 hours before I get to eat again. So here is the medicine. I have read all the instructions, which is mostly that it's 2 doses. I take one now and I take one in the morning. You pour it into this container and you mix it with cold water. And then you drink it, I guess, kind of as fast as you can. And then you have to drink 2 more 16 ounce, so this is 16 ounces, 2 more 16 ounce glasses of water. And then we see how fast things start moving. Ooh, one thing that someone, a nurse suggested in the comments of that Hank Green video I talked about earlier, there was a suggestion of putting Crystal Light, the lemonade flavor, in with it because it could make it taste a little bit more palatable. Why do I need to put my hair up for this? I don't know, but it seems necessary. This isn't for you. Not for kitties. Some medication. Not excited about this situation. You out here making all kinds of problems. All I wanted to do was just open up this little foil thing. That's a lot. Oh yeah, definitely has a smell. Adding some water now. We're gonna try it without the Crystal Light first. Just because I haven't had specific instructions that this medication you can mix it with that. Here we go. Yeah, okay, so it kind of is like sort of sweet, but then like there's like a medicine sting, and then it's like too sweet. And my body definitely has an immediate reaction of like, ugh. Yeah, I mean that's deeply unpleasant. Not impossible, obviously, I did it, but deeply unpleasant. Anyway, I am going to go drink a lot more water and expel everything in my body after that. Hello, good morning. We made it through the night. Yeah, I mean, it did what I expected it to do. I would say that as someone who gets sick a lot, it was not physically really very bad, just because like there's no like pain or the body symptoms that I usually have. But I'm here now, it's time for round 2. So now we're gonna drink round 2 and I'll tell you how the Crystal Light with it tastes. I can't say that it makes it taste better. It's just like more fruity now. Okay, it's done. I honestly don't know if the Crystal Light actually made it worse for me. Whoa. All right, let's go get this thing rolling and pack and make myself look less like death.
And we're back. Oh my gosh, guys. What a week. So first off, I wouldn't recommend having your colonoscopy on a Wednesday. I think that definitely just kills your whole week. The experience of the endoscopy and colonoscopy were pretty much what I expected. You know, everybody tells you that the prep for the colonoscopy is the hardest part, and then the actual like procedure you're not awake for, so that makes it really easy. Like the nurse checks you in once they take you back, then you take off your clothes, put on your gown with obviously the back is the open part. At one point, the anesthesiologist will come and talk to you, like ask if you have ever had anesthesia before, have you ever had any reactions to it, do you have any questions about it? I don't think I've ever had propofol, which is what they gave me, and I've never had an IV, which the IV was a little bit of a scary thing to do because, you know, they put this like needle in your hand, and I'm not a big fan of needles. And then kind of like waiting there, I guess they had like saline going through because my arm got pretty cold. I was like, what is happening? And then I looked back and there was, like a bag. After you're all hooked up, they will bring you back to the procedure room. Eventually they put in like some little oxygen since you're going to be unconscious. They want to have oxygen there. And then there was a little clip on your finger to take your pulse. And then they put 3 little monitors on so that they can monitor your heart. Also a blood pressure cuff. At that point, they have like everything on you. So you're just like really hooked up. And, the doctor comes in and I had met this doctor once before, but it has been a long time because I usually see like a nurse practitioner when I go into the office. So for him, it was, I think, to be safe. It's like, hi, nice to meet you. So it's just a weird experience to be like, hi, nice to meet you, as you're like covered in everything. He just kind of like gives you the rundown of what they're gonna do. For me, it's like, hey, we're gonna try to figure out what's going on. And here, he also kind of gave me an idea of like, probably nothing, we won't find anything crazy. And probably what I'll have you do are these things, so that's maybe like 2 minutes of time tops. I don't know. At that point, my sense of time was probably very warped. So at that point, the nurse and anesthesiologist had me turn onto my left side. And then they do the endoscopy first, and they take your mask down and put a bite block in. So you've got like, you're starting out, it all goes very fast and you're very hooked up to things. But yeah, so they put the bite block in, which I assume probably has like a hole. I wasn't paying a lot of attention at that point. I was like, let me just do all the things that I'm supposed to do, because it was a lot of instructions. And like the first thing when they were like, turn over to your side and like scoot this way, and I did that, and like my butt was hanging off. My anesthesiologist is like, well, no, you don't want to be like that far. I'm like, yeah, that was an accident, sorry. Didn't need to show everybody my butt already. Yeah, so they put the bite block in. Pretty much when she's putting the bite block in, I think the anesthesiologist is like starting the anesthesia, because just about the time I'd gotten it fully in, she was like, all right, you probably will start feeling something cold in your right arm. She's like, and that will be it working. And I remember saying, yep, I feel it. And then I was asleep. And then I started to wake up, and I definitely had the thought that I was still gonna be in that procedure room, that I was like waking up there, and like that the doctors and everything were still around. But then it's like, as my eyes started to open, I realized that I had been turned back onto my back. I no longer had anything in my mouth. My mask was back on, and that there were like curtains and everything, which was different than the procedure room. And so I was like, oh, okay, it's over. We're all good. So it really is like as simple as that. So with propofol, you're supposed to be able to wake up pretty quickly. It had that feeling of like, maybe when you are like really sleepy and you wake up too quickly. And so you're like you're able to like move around and do stuff, but you're still very asleep. That's what I experience a lot. My cat will wake me up too often, and I'll have to like jump out of bed because he's like throwing up on something. So that's kind of the feeling that I had then. The nurse comes in and she's like, hi, you're in recovery. Would you like anything to drink? And I was like, yes, I would like some ginger ale. When I was done with that, she came back and was like, here are your clothes. You can go ahead and start putting those on. I don't know. I felt a little bit like she was rushing me. She probably wasn't. I feel like probably my sense of time was just very warped, and I was just kind of like sitting and staring at nothing. But I definitely tried to like keep moving, because I definitely could have just gone back to sleep, I think. My bag of clothes, she kind of put out on a chair in front of me, and I put those back on, and then kind of was just like sitting on the edge of the bed. It was very, very like, woo. And then she came back in with a wheelchair, and she's like, all right, we're ready to take you out. She helped me get into the wheelchair and wheels me to the door. And then, so she had me stand up right before the door and opened the door, and you're kind of underneath a little awning there. And so there was a car on either side. And she was like, all right, are you in the Nissan or the Toyota? And I had never been in my cousin's car before, so I knew it was like the silver car, but I didn't know which. I like knew like that it was the one on the right. But her saying like the names of the car, and I'm like, I need to answer with either Nissan or Toyota. And I'm having to like look really hard at which car it is. So there's like this long pause, and I'm sure the nurse is like, oh no, she doesn't know what car she's going to. But I did know. I just was like trying to answer it the way she'd asked it, and I should have just been like, that one. But anyway, my cousin saw me and was already getting out of the car to come and open the door for me, and I wasn't gonna accidentally get in someone else's car. So yeah, I did the thing. It all worked out. I guess I should say that the other thing is that they, print out their findings and send it with you. And I mean, when they also like called my cousin to tell her that I was ready, the doctor actually called and like gave her kind of the rundown of everything, which is that pretty much everything was normal. I do have a hiatal hernia, which is what's causing the reflux. But it is essentially, I mean, if you know what a hernia is like when a part of your body sort of like comes out where it's not supposed to. So in this case, it's that your stomach, a piece of your stomach, has gotten like up and like pinched into where the esophagus is. And so obviously that's not supposed to be there, and that can cause all kinds of problems. And then with the colonoscopy, they did find like one polyp, but that's most likely benign. So anytime they find a polyp, they have to like remove it, and they'll do a biopsy. I'm not going to show you, but they give you pictures of like your insides. I don't know like what these are. Like one, I can definitely tell that's got to be my esophagus. The rest is like just weird, gross looking insides. If you want to see what those pictures probably look like, Google it. So if I was going to rate my experience, the actual like procedure, colonoscopy, endoscopy, getting anesthesia, all of that, 10 out of 10, super easy. I know people will say that all the time, but I can attest as someone who has a lot of anxiety, that part is such a breeze. So taking the laxative medication and then cleaning out your colon, that is like a 2 out of 10. Actually, maybe it's higher than that. The medication itself is probably like a 2 out of 10. It's not a 0. It's better than what I thought it was, but it is still, because I thought it was going to be like this milky, thick, chalky solution. I think maybe in the past that is a type of medication that people have taken, but I have heard that the medications have improved. I took the Suprep, and it is clear. It's like kind of fruity tasting, but also like bitter medicine-y aftertaste. It's not fun to have to drink, but the actual elimination process was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. At least for me, there was no pain involved. It was just a lot of urgent, let's go to the bathroom situations. Oh, and I guess my funny story from the experience is that, when they took me back, the nurse takes me back and she like does all the questions, and then she starts hooking me up to the IV, and at no point she ever asked like, do you need to go to the bathroom like one last time? I wish that I could have, because I was definitely sitting there all hooked up to everything, getting ready to start this whole deal, going like, I could probably go to the bathroom once more. And I'm like, we're gonna be okay. Which at that point, it's just liquid, like it's just water that's like coming out of your body. But still, I was a little worried about that situation. So yeah, maybe ask when you're like checking in if there's a bathroom, so that you don't have that fear that I did. I wish I had asked, but I didn't like see one. You'd think there would be one, like a really obvious bathroom in the colonoscopy office. There wasn't. So that was the thing. That was it. Other than the pre-work of the colon prep, much easier than when I had to do all the like heart monitor stuff. The heart stuff was both not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but also very frustrating. So yeah, I would rate probably gastro things higher than having to have heart tests. But I'm very happy to have this behind me now. And I don't have to have another colonoscopy for 10 years unless it is clinically indicated. So yeah, another kind of medical journey with Caitlin. And hopefully if you're having to have a colonoscopy, whether it's, kind of when the normal time it happens, like 50 plus, or if you're doing it when you're much younger, like me, I know that it can seem very scary. It was definitely the idea of having a colonoscopy was incredibly anxiety inducing for me early on, because it just seems like very violating. You know, there's a lot of like this unknown, and I don't think people talk about it enough, which are like, you know, why would you? Definitely, it's not anything that you have to be like super afraid of, but I'm glad to have done it and to have at least a couple of answers, and even more so like have the answers that nothing worse is going on, because that can certainly cause a lot of anxiety too. So yeah, if you have any questions about colonoscopies, endoscopies, then please leave them down in the comments. I'll try to, you know, answer as best as I can from my experience. Obviously, I am not a medical professional, but I definitely think having people who have gone through something that you are maybe gonna have to go through helps alleviate some of that stress. If you enjoyed this, then remember to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you know when all the rest of my videos come out for you. And you can also check me out over on Instagram for all the rest of your Caitlin creative content. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.